I would like to call to order the Avalon City Council meeting of November 5th. Also, it will include a meeting of the council acting as the Avalon Housing Authority. If you'd please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Councilman Haves.
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if we could have a moment of silence for some very good positive news. Our Avalon Lady Lancers volleyball team are playing their CIF Division III semifinals this evening. They start at 5 o'clock. So just take a moment just to wish them well. Okay. And the roll call, please.
Councilmember Haves.
Here.
Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Passy.
Here.
Mayor Marshall.
Here. We're going to take some things out of order because of the game tonight. I didn't realize that Steve's daughter Hannah is the captain of the team. So we're going to go with the consent calendar first, and then Councilman Hayes will be leaving us, and we will continue with the rest of the agenda.
Okay, we have 12 items this evening on the consent calendar. The first one is minutes from the October 15, 2019 regular meeting of the City Council. The second one is warrants dispersed between October 5th and October 24th of 2019, totaling $1,005,743.08. Number 3 is to adopt the resolution accepting fiscal year 1920 first quarter treasurer's report. Number 4 is to authorize the harbor master to develop and issue an RFP to perform repairs and maintenance on the Pleasure Pier end float. 5 is to adopt resolutions establishing a minimum insurance requirements for construction contracts, IT professional services agreements, long-term leases, rental facilities, small projects, and other contracted services. Number 6 is to approve and authorize execution of an employment agreement for city manager services with Denise Ratty. 7 is to accept and receive the sea level rise vulnerability assessment report. Number 8 is to conditionally approve final parcel map 73645 to divide lot 14 of track 69836 in the Hamilton Cove area into 4 new lots and a remainder parcel. Number 9 is to authorize city manager to procure, per the city's purchasing policy, 2 used Ford Ranger trucks for public works and code enforcement for a total not to exceed amount of $22,000, and to allocate that $22,000 from vehicle equipment maintenance and repair funds for the purchase. Number 10 is to authorize public works director to issue an RFP for rockfall and debris mitigation on Pebbly Beach Road and St. Catherine's Way. 11 is to adopt a resolution supporting the City of Avalon's submission of an application to the Department of Housing and Community Development Planning Grants Program. And the last one is as of the Housing Authority, and that is to authorize city manager to enter into contract with RSG Incorporated to provide relocation consulting services for fiscal year 1920 on a time and materials basis in an amount not to exceed $15,000.
Council, what's your pleasure?
If no one is pulling any items, I would just like to list an abstention in item number 8. I will not be voting on that one due to the Island Company and financial.
Oh, okay.
And then item number 12. If we can pull that to a later meeting.
I'm okay with that if you all are.
Move staff on 1 to 11.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll make a second.
Comments from the community? Call for the vote.
All ayes.
And 1 abstention.
One abstention on item 8.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Best of luck to the team.
Okay.
So, and included in that motion was the moving item number 12 to another meeting.
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Okay. Announcements and written communications.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I just have two quick things. One of them is that a letter is being sent to the DMV thanking them for their vital services that they provide to us. We did have a record-breaking, Jen called today to see some facts that they had, and because of the Real ID, so like last April, they did 77 identification cards, driver's licenses, and this time they did 213 of them they processed. Car registrations, they did 44 in April and 62 now, and so we are asking for additional resources, not necessarily extra days, but maybe some extra personnel and some stations, so we can process more paper. More people, I should
Yeah.
say. And that we have started the process of issuing the overnight permits for Lower Catalina and Descanso, and that's it.
Okay, great. Department head reports. Do we have any? Oh, Bob's going to talk whether we want to hear from him or not. We
Keep the
appreciate that.
community aware of what we're doing.
Yes, appreciate
Okay,
it.
so 3 quick items. Pebbley Beach Road lift station, contractors made great progress in the past 2 weeks. The mechanical portion of the lift station is nearly complete, so that's down in the dry well portion with all the new piping that's on top of the existing pumps. On Thursday night, shutdown number 2 will occur, so we will shut down and keep the flow bypass to the plant. This will allow the lift station to be reconnected to the force main that goes to the wastewater treatment plant. And after that point, then that will be fully hooked up. So the new parts in the lift station will be fully hooked up to the force main and will be functioning. So we'll still have plenty of work to complete on top, but that way we have the lift station back fully in order. The Five Corner project, during the week of November 18th, Public Works crews will be doing exploratory potholing of the utilities in the project limits. So that means Tremont from Clemente to the intersection here, Avalon Canyon from the fire station to the intersection, and then right in the intersection. And what that is picture like a excavator or backhoe digging a small hole, looking on top of like a water pipe to look at what depth and location it is exactly at. Because when utilities mark with an underground service alert, they're just putting that paint on the road, but then that could be plus or minus 3 feet. So we need to know the exact locations because that'll help us finish our designs of the utility portion of the project. And then tree trimming on Friday, November 8th, we'll have tree trimming on Front Street, and that should finish out our tree trimming, except for we're going to also do Olive Street, and we're going to remove a couple of trees there, some rubber trees that are damaging the city's facilities, and they're deemed hazard trees, so we're going to remove those trees. Okay?
Right. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City staff. I just wanted to very quickly inform you about a new feature that our reverse 911 code red system has implemented. If people, through their smartphones, if they text the word Avalon to 99411, the application or the sign-in process will come right up on their phone. It will still offer the way of signing up through the website, but it's a much simpler way to sign up. So if you text Avalon to 99411, it'll bring up the application process to sign up free to the reverse 911 system. We'll put out some-
Avalon 9?
that number again,
Maybe
99411,
just to 99411.
and type in Avalon,
Oh, I see, okay,
and it'll
that
send
makes
you back a
sense.
link.
Oh, 999.
That's how you sign up. If anyone has any questions, they can call the fire station. We'd be happy to.
At 911?
No, don't call 911. Call. No. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, do we have any questions of any of the other department heads? Okay. City manager.
Already did my announcements, I'm good.
Okay, city attorney, anything to report?
Nothing?
Council members?
I have two quick ones. I will be attending Gateway Cities Council of Government meeting tomorrow night, and I did attend the FCCA conference in Puerto Rico between October 21st and October 25th. Met with many of the different cruise line industry leaders, and Jim Lutjohan from the Chamber of Commerce put together a 3-page bit of information that was blasted out to the public with updates on who we met with in conversations. So I'll use that as my report out.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Yesterday, I got to go to the grand reopening of the Avalon Library.
We were there.
And I did
We all
too.
were here, and it was really cool.
really
If you haven't
cool.
been there, you can now check out books on your own. You don't have to go to the desk. If you order a book, it's on the shelf. You don't have to ask somebody for it. They've got computers, 8 computers, I think. If you've lost your cell phone charge, you can get your cell phone charge there. It's just so cool. They have early entry for if you have a library card. And I'm sure I forgot something, but I'm sure Paul will just let me know whatever I forgot.
Yeah, it was.
It was cool, really cool.
It was cool.
Our supervisor's here and a whole bunch of other people. Also, and another sports note, on Friday, Avalon's football team will play their first round, semifinal, or first round of the playoffs in Avalon at 5 o'clock against a school from the desert, and I don't remember what the name of the school was. But
That's okay.
5 o'clock is Joe Machado.
Awesome. And did we already come and go from the league since the last council meeting?
Yes. No.
We went to the League of
We went to the
California
California
Cities.
Cities meeting. When was that?
And there was some good stuff. I shared some of the things with the appropriate staff, but one of the interesting things, kind of from a chamber perspective as well, was the whole thing about branding and what is our brand. And I couldn't think of what our brand is. Oh, maybe. That's okay. Oh, that's. Okay, so that's fascinating. So that was a good one, and I just shared. There's another really cool program they do in San Francisco, and we're going to look into this, and maybe with the civic organizations. The way they do it, if every kid that goes to kindergarten, they start a bank account for them. They put $50 in it, and you don't need social security numbers, you don't need anything. It's in the child's name, and what they're hoping to do is show the importance of any kind of education after high school, whether it be industrial arts or whatever. Then the families are encouraged to, if they've got a dime, or not a dime maybe, but if any money they have, to take the child to the bank. The child goes in, deposits the money, learns the importance of that. And they said in 2 years, one lady would put in $20 whenever she had it, and she got up to $3,000 in just a couple of years. So I think it's a very exciting program that I'm going to want to kind of generate around here. We were thinking of starting it at preschool age even instead of waiting till kindergarten. But anyway, and City of San Francisco has all the stuff, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So that was very fascinating. And then on Saturday night, I had a little meet and greet with Congressman Lowenthal, his wife, Congressman Garrett Graves from Louisiana. And they're doing they're going around for the last 2 years doing all these bipartisan meet and greets to find out what their common issues are. So ours was kind of like a sea level issue, and it's also ocean and water and tourism. They spent most of the day with the Conservancy, which I think went well, but we just had a really informal chat, so it was quite lovely. So that was that. Okay, and then I have an announcement I'd like to read. As you may have heard, on October 18th, it was announced that the state of California awarded $10 million to Catalina Island to address critical water issues. This grant will provide funds to build new water infrastructure and increase capacity to residents and visitors. These grant funds are a product of tireless hours of time spent by the City of Avalon staff, the team at Southern California Edison, and the advocacy of Assemblymember Patrick O'Donnell and his office. I would like to take this moment to extend all of our sincerest thanks on behalf of everyone at the city for the effort and man-hours spent to secure this funding. Without a doubt, this grant will help to pave the way for a more sustainable future in Avalon. That's great. Okay, oral communication. This is an opportunity for people from the community to speak on items that are not on the agenda. You will be limited to 3 minutes and no action will be taken.
Good evening, thank you. Jason Perret, Whitley Avenue, also CEO of Catalina Island Medical Center. I'd like to just bring up for discussion the current school status. Me personally, we have pulled our daughter out of the school and we'll be homeschooling her. But from a different perspective, the current status of our school makes it nearly impossible to recruit families to our community to work at the hospital. I know the museum has the problem. I know the Island Company has the problem. I know the Conservancy has the problem, and I'm sure the city has the problem. The recent things that have occurred that the entire community knows about is absurd, and the fact that Long Beach Unified has an apathetic philosophy behind it, is that's just the way it is, I think is absurd again, rather than doing something about the situation. And I think it's time we as a community band together to make Long Beach Unified change.
We're not really allowed to have a lot of dialogue here, but we all feel the pain, and I'm so sorry that you've had to pull Amelia out. There does need to be a powwow with, I think, law enforcement as well, the principal, the district, and I know you all have been doing all these other meetings, but where is the enough is enough, where they're going to say that enough is enough and really try to make change? That's the tough one.
We've been going down this process for 2 years now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and we're all saying, oh, good, we're making headway. But the 2 incidents that have occurred in the past 3-4 months are out of control. And all the work that should have been being done over the past 2 years has absolutely done nothing. If not, it's made things worse, I would assume. Mm-hmm. Because, when you have to, I can't disclose medical information, but when children are getting hurt and in a severe manner, and then you have other children that are producing death lists, and nothing, and the Long Beach Unified does nothing to communicate to the parents that these types of things are happening, what is being done. It's almost as though they desire to just kind of sweep it underneath the carpet and hopefully nobody finds out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I know I'm not the only parent and employer that has serious issues with this.
Yes.
It is the biggest, the school is the largest reason not to live on this island.
No, totally understand. Yeah. Thank you, Jason.
I don't know how the city or the officials of the city or how we engage with our next representatives, but it's now time where the city of Avalon itself needs to step in and have a voice on behalf of all of its community members. The methodology that a team of us have used over the last 2 years is to meet, gather the facts, explain the concerns, work with the school, get the superintendent here, and it's empty promise after empty promise. And what the school and members of and participants at the school are experiencing this year is a heightened level of physical abuse, is a heightened level of emotional abuse, and a very serious lack of consequences from the sheriff's department as well as from school administration. And so, there was a movement over the summer. Again, there was more than 700 persons who signed a petition that asked for the school district to pay attention and listen to the fact that, there are this number of persons out of a 4,000 person community who are asking for the school district to make some changes. And unfortunately, situations are worse, they're not better. So at some point, the council needs to have a conversation, whether that's an agenda item. I'm not sure how we do that, but the city needs to represent its community and say enough is enough.
I'll just say, on behalf of the Chamber, Jim Luchahan, President and CEO, Catalina Island Chamber and Visitors Bureau, the school conversation has overtaken many of our board meetings, and it is a concern. Jason did a beautiful job tonight of expressing how it's an obstacle, and it is an obstacle across the board for our membership. I've even been one of the attendees at Long Beach Unified School District raising these concerns and was met with an almost zero level of response. So.
Yes.
But that's not why I was walking up here. I wanted to let you, certainly, members of the audience, members of the community know that we at the Catalina Island Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau are coming up on our annual marketing conference, where among the speakers and presenters this year will be our new advertising agency that is working on a destination brand for us. We have actually been building the pieces toward that for our last 2 years of that marketing conference. Destination branding is not a cheap and easy task, so we had to spread the cost over a few budget cycles. But that will be taking place November 20th, beginning at 8:30 a.m. at Toyon Grill. Anyone who receives the Thursday update, there's a link that's been running in there. We'll have it again this week, where you can register to attend. And if you don't receive the Thursday update and you're interested in attending, please come by the Catalina Island Visitor Center on the pier, and my staff can help you there in registering. As you probably know, we just wrapped up our annual triathlon. I'm still awaiting final reporting from the sports management firm, but I can tell you, working the finish line this year, it was a pleasure to see, I think, a lot more island participation, Team Cassidy being among them, and also just an overall greater number of attendees, and I think some record times. That's part of the reporting I'm waiting to hear, but I know that generally I haven't been swamped at the finish line before 11 a.m., and we were pretty busy by 11 a.m. this year. So people were out of the water before 10 a.m. It was a fast course for people this year. We're coming up later this week on a ribbon cutting and open house at the long-awaited reopening of the San Grey Pueblo Hotel. That's this Thursday at 3 p.m. It is not a chamber event, but as a chamber member, we're supporting them in getting the word out for that. It is a private event being put on by the management there, and you can RSVP online on Facebook. Go real quick. We have mixers. We have a mixer coming up at Antonio's on November 14th at 6 p.m. We're hosting the second of 2019's Community Cleanup Days on November 9th. We'll convene across the street at 9 a.m., and we're working closely with city staff and a lot of civic organizations on doing that again. And we have submitted just earlier this week our audited financials to the city, and I'll be here at the next council meeting reporting out on those.
Great.
So, thank you.
Thank you. That was very thorough. Thank you.
Hello, Paul Birchall, Avalon Library. I don't want to take much time today. I do want to thank you all so much for your support of the entire town. Your new library is heaven. It is so good. I hope you all had a lovely day, those who came to see the opening. It was a big deal. And the library's looking good. I love the modular design. We have an area of computers in the back, and people can do their work quietly. We have a beautiful kids area. We have an adult area. We're going to get $40,000 worth of new books over the next few months. It's going to be almost a new collection that we're going to weed in and out. Wow. They're going to give us a lot more DVDs and a lot more kids stuff, particularly because that's the stuff that Circus especially heavily. I was very excited to bring out our old Catalina collection, which has been languishing in a storage tank for a while. Glad to have that up on our shelves. Yesterday we had like a huge crowd. Today we had a huge crowd of kids. We had all the kids there.
Yes.
They have moved in, but you know they are very excited with the laptops. And I was thinking, oh no, what's going to happen to my new beautiful laptops? They're treating them with respect.
Good.
You know, they love them, and you know, it's just a pleasure to see people doing their stuff on their laptops. We have 10 laptops available for just grabbing and going in our library. So 3 set aside PCs and these 10 laptops. Nobody ever needs to come to the library and have to sit there and wait to use the computer anymore. Right. We now have basically 13 stations for you, 14 including the one that's set aside for kids, lucky 14. We have the Open Plus that Councilman Olson discussed earlier. It's not quite totally up. At the moment, we have it ready to go on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday if you get your card raised to Open Plus. What it is you show your card, it buzzes you in. You can come in up to 2 hours before we're open, do your business, and it's good, you know, if you're in a hurry, you know, you work at 10 and, you know, you need to fax something at 9. We won't be there. There are cameras, but we won't be there. But you know, you can come on in and do your business. We have a new copy machine. Big news. It's a brand new copy machine. It scans to email, scans to fax, does different size paper. I haven't seen another one on the island, so I'm pretty excited about that. We have self-checkout. We had to put in self-checkout because of the automatic door. People might want to check out a book. And I just think, the checkout desk.
Yeah.
It's like this curvy thing. It's so pretty.
It is.
So you guys, I hope you'll come. Come and visit it if you haven't. If you missed the opening, that's okay. We're going to be there forever. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 11 to 7. Friday and Saturday, 9 till 5. One last thing. I've done a very poor job promoting an event I have tomorrow because the opening just sort of was like a locomotive. I have a resume workshop with a career expert by the name of Liz Moeller. That's going to be tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I'm sorry I've done a very poor job of promoting it. Come in, if you have your resume needs some tweaking, come on down. If she's really cool, I'll probably just book her again sometime soon. But
Great.
yeah, I booked her before they told me, oh, you're opening next week. So, okay.
Yeah.
So it was like a locomotive. And
That's okay. It was a great opening, and thank you.
And thank you all for coming. I
Yes,
really
it
appreciate
was-
it. Yes, sir.
Paul, you say there's 3 remote libraries. I know there's one at Two Harbors.
Yes,
There's
yes.
one at the Showers. Where's the third one?
Oh, it's hide and go seek.
By
isn't it?
Leo's.
We have one at the end of the mall, behind the ATM.
Okay.
We have one that's on Sumner next to Leo's, and one on the road to the casino, next to the Showers. I should have just said if you find it, And you know what? People have been using them.
Already?
I stopped by the one on Sumner, which I predict is going to be the most popular one. It was half empty already. I mean, I
Great.
sort of expect a lot of parrot cages are going to get lined, but we have lots of lovely books. What we're talking about is standing free libraries. We have 3 standing free libraries. Take a book, leave a book. It's your book if you want it. We get lots of promotional, scholastic books. So we're going to keep it filled, maybe once a week we'll all go out to each of the book stacks.
Great.
I've been talking a long time.
That's
I have a quick question for you also.
course.
I know that you guys might still be working on your punch list for the building remodel. I just want to encourage you to make sure that there is lighting on the outside of the building, right in front of the parking lot.
Okay.
And there was before, but I noticed it today coming as it's gotten shorter days that it's pretty dark there, just for safety for
I will
kids
pass
going
that
in and
on.
out of the library.
I will pass that on.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Anybody else? Okay. Wow. Okay, this is. Oh, yes, birthday boy.
You can have 4 minutes.
It's. Oh, you can't hear? Can you want to turn us up a little bit, Alex, in the back? Can you turn us up a tad?
Can you hear me out there?
Yeah.
I'll try and speak up. So Jake just texted me. Don't start that yet. I want as much time as Jack Tucci gets too, by the way. But we lost the first match 24-6 on the girls volleyball.
Oh.
So anyway, I wanted to talk about cruise ships for just a moment. I wanted to ask you a question. Ole, how many cruise ships would be perfect for you in a week? How many cruise ships would be perfect for you in a week, Mr. Olson?
Nothing on Saturday. Not 2 ships on a day, so 4.
4, thank you. Annie?
3 or 4,
3 or
depending,
4,
yeah.
Same-
On
same
time of
time?
year.
3 to 4, and then different amounts at different times of the year as well.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. So on August 6th, I think Paula got up and inquired about a rumor that was going around that we were going to get an additional cruise ship. And Denise said that there had been an inquiry, but nothing had been decided. And it wasn't until 2021. Council said they were not aware of any negotiations and said there would be plenty of time to discuss this additional cruise ships. So 2 meetings went by, there was nothing on the agenda, and there was no discussion. So then the 3rd meeting, Annie came out and told us it's a done deal, that we're going to have that cruise ship on 2021, and not only 2021, but also 2022. And in addition, there'd be a few arrivals by Disney. And the citizens were never given an opportunity to be heard. So I have a recommendation. my recommendation is that Avalon Code 10-2.402 be revised so that the citizens have the ability to approve or disapprove future cruise ships through the ballot. Unless anyone up here can give me a good reason why perhaps the most defining issue for the future of Avalon should not be decided by the citizens at the ballot box. Or if anyone in the audience could give me a good reason why the citizens shouldn't decide, please come up.
I don't see how you could put every decision on the ballot.
I'm not talking about every decision, I'm talking about this cruise ship specifically.
Okay. But how would you expect that to work? So
I'd be willing to work with
check.
anyone to come up with a language to do that. I think the Chamber of Commerce has come up with a survey that defines some parameters that could be a good starting point.
But I think we've talked about that.
The survey they did previous said that 70% of the residents felt that they were negatively impacted by cruise ships. I mean, I like the way it is now.
Mm-hmm.
I like having Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. That's 5 consecutive days. And then I have 2 days to recoup. Now, I would consider an additional cruise ship in the off-season if our infrastructure issues had been addressed, the water, the sewer, the telephone, the internet, numerous other things that we all know that we need to address. I would consider an additional one. And that's my opinion. You guys all have a different opinion. Right. I have a friend on Front Street. When I ask him how many, he says, you know that Beatles song, 8 days a week? He said that'd be fine with him. I've talked to other people that would like to do away with the cruise ships. Yeah. Don't even want them. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that there's a diverse opinions on this defining issue. And why not let the citizens decide?
Yeah, and this 3-minute conversation isn't this how this is supposed to be going? I mean, it's supposed to be.
As I prefaced this, we were supposed to have a discussion.
I understand.
3 meetings went by.
Right.
I've lost confidence in your ability to lead that discussion. So I apologize for that.
No, this discussion does have to go, but I know we have discussed how would we write such a thing when you have some people say, but if it's a 1,200 vessel ship, that's okay, or if it's one of those 650s, or, so, and I think when you put something on a ballot, it's not multiple choice, fill in the blank, it's got to be extremely specific. So if you said, let's say you had to say something simple and it goes, do you want cruise ships 4 days a week? Let's say that's all you could put on the ballot, 4 days a week. Well, there'll be the yes or the no's, but there's all that in between. Maybe the 4 is, like I say, it's a 600 person vessel. So it's all apples and oranges, and
Well, we can discuss apples and oranges. We can form a group called a super group called Fruit. I think we can come to it, but the process that has transpired is unacceptable to me and is unacceptable to a lot of people.
Right.
And so I think we need to change the code. And if you're not in favor of putting it on the ballot, then it should come before council before any issues are decided upon. Yeah. Because as it stands now, I won't go into it because we've already beat up on that. We know how it works, and I think that is inefficient. And I'm not happy with the equitable charges for the landing fees. I think we're being shortchanged, big time. I think we could do a lot better on that.
Yeah.
So anyway, those are my thoughts.
So this is something that we do have some time, though, because it's not going to get in November. It's not going to be in March. And since We know we already have those 2 cruise ships. I mean, it's not something we can throw down the, 2 years from now. It would have to be something where the meetings perhaps were starting sometime sooner than later, but too late for this 2020 election.
2021.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was my understanding from the last conversation that we had, when you had said, Mayor, right out of the gate, this is a done deal. And then
Right.
we had a discussion that followed from that. And I have notes from that meeting that we were going to bring this back and we were going to talk about making changes to the code. So I think that's already, or the policy. So I think that's already, what you're asking is already in play, that we want to develop the parameters that help the harbor master and the city make a decision whether a ship is going to come or not come.
I'd like to help the citizens of Avalon participate in that decision.
That
Not just-
decision will
not
come
just have
before
this-
council.
Well, yeah, perhaps.
The citizens were invited to submit their ideas.
Excuse me?
The citizens were invited to submit their feelings about the cruise ships. Number,
And I think
max.
we've received 3.
That was after the
No.
fact.
No. Wait, hold on.
I've
Just
received 16 correspondences from citizens. Majority, yes, are, Randy. There were more anti, I guess, cruise ship, I don't know how else to say it. Some of them did list things that gave suggestions, number of the week, size of the ship, etc. It is slated to come before the city council for, I'm assuming, a nice discussion and a lot of input from our residents, and that is that first meeting in December.
I'll look forward to that. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And Randy, and I'll also, in that report, so helping summarizing what residents have asked for, and then every correspondence I've received will also be part of that.
Has that been issued?
No, that will
It
be
will
for
be.
that
Okay.
first meeting in December. I
Okay.
don't want to say it's the 2nd or the 3rd.
All right, thank you.
Great, thank you. Hey, Paula, you're walking really well.
So, Paula Patterson, 221 Whitley. So, on this particular item, I mean, we've had meetings for the public to have their input outside of council for things like parking on the street and other issues, and this is, I think, a hot button topic in town. So, there have been things that have come, like 2012. I saw that regarding the wharfage fees. Were approved and brought before the city council. Well, you are elected officials to bring the business of the people and to represent the people. So, I mean, I think it just putting in my 2 cents to say that when a new cruise ship is approved, that it should be a transparency that the city council could approve it. Well, right now, we know that the way the council sits is that most likely anything would get approved that had to do with cruise ships, no matter what.
Well, that's an unfair
that could
comment.
change.
Unfair comment.
But-
I
but
don't
it-
appreciate
No.
you guys coming forward and saying that you know what our beliefs are when you don't. That's
Well,
unfair.
Okay, but I'm not saying it. For most things, it would be like I would love to. For me, I'm not against them, but I do think that they should be relative to our island. That's what I think. I mean, I just think the ones that come here are too big. But neither here nor there. We're probably a more of a cruise ship friendly council at this time. So when the elections happen and people voice their opinions through elections, then that's where the council could come into play when it comes to representing the will of the people. And if it is the will of the people that we have giant cruise ships 7 days a week, then that's what it's going to be. But you would have a say in it. And when Randy's talking about changing the ordinance, then to me that maybe that would be a thing about it. So I was reading yesterday because apparently it's really hard. We're like so few places in the world as far as size and numbers and what we have to offer to the world. So I was reading about the island of Molokai in Hawaii, and they went crazy. A cruise ship wanted to come in and to their island, and people were protesting and coming down and making huge stinks about it. So their population is 7,000, so pretty much double of ours, And they got to an agreement that they said, okay, this particular cruise ship can visit. It's okay. And they signed it, and the city people signed it, and it all came together. The cruise ship held 37 people. So, I mean, that's what they thought was relative to the usage for their island and the impact there. So I'm just saying that if we can talk about parking in a public meeting, I think this should be something, it would be intense, but
Yes.
I think people need to have a say.
The intensity continues.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paula.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Dan.
Cindy, you didn't give a report on the cruise ship fact-finding conference.
There is a
Expo.
3-page report, Janie. I'm sure you've already received a copy of it via email, and you're welcome to have my copy.
Great. Paula's comment about this is a pro-business council, but that's just merely a bias. I don't think she's saying that you can't vote fairly on things, but there is a bias here that, well, in the words of Pam Albers, whose birthday was just last month, and she would have been 63, and I must be invoking her somehow, but her position was that the city is not responsible to grow your business. And I had to think about that for a while. I didn't really get it at first, but I think she pretty much meant you're responsible for the infrastructure, you're responsible for some recreation, you're responsible for safety and maybe a little housing, but nobody says that 3,000 people have to be dropped off at your doorstep. And I think we've turned a corner about that, because I think it's expected that the city participates in growing the business people. And I'm not sure we're capable. And I liked Randy's comment about we could talk about more cruise ships, more frequent, whatever size, but let's fix the infrastructure first. Because, see, that falls on not the Front Street people so much, but the back street people who are going to have to pay for more trash. They're going to have to pay for fixing, like the money you took from the general fund to fix the plumbing. They're going to have to pay for water and, well, not so much now, but probably it's going to come out of our taxes too, and we're not feeling really represented. Mm-hmm. I think the chamber is really good. They're organized and they're, it's very easy for them to present. But just a few people from, that don't want to go downtown on Monday and Tuesday because it's just such an unpleasant experience. And I think this also goes to the visitor who does not want to come back, and no one's really analyzed that. But there's huge unintended consequences, and it may be in the hotels. It may show up in other ways, but I have a feeling it's going to show up. A lot of my friends are talking about moving.
Okay, appreciate your comments, Jenny. Okay, any others? You got locked out of your office.
Hello. My name is Alex, 343 Clemente. Not to step on anyone's toes, but this cruise ship thing is kind of hot.
Wait, you're going to have to speak up?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. No disrespect to anyone, but it looks like a lot of the people that are against it are out of the workforce. You guys already ate. Let some of the young people eat. This may be business-oriented council, but that's the city we are, right? We're all about tourism. That's what drives us. So that's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Alrighty. That's it?
Hospital, that's it.
Oh,
Oh,
other than the
hospital.
hospital, yeah. And that's, okay, now we're gonna go to the hospital and hit it, Ole.
I would like to call to order the Avalon Municipal Hospital Board of Trustees meeting of Tuesday, November 4th at 5:54. Roll call, please.
Trustee Cassidy? Here. Trustee Marshall?
Here.
Chairman Olson?
Here.
And we have one absentee, Trustee Haves.
Any announcements? Doesn't look like any.
None.
Any written communication?
I have none.
No, it doesn't look like any. Any presentations? None. Oral communication. Members of the public may address Avalon Municipal Hospital Board of Trustees at this time. No action will be taken on non-agenda items at this meeting. Speakers should limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. Anybody coming to the podium? Nobody's coming to the podium. Consent calendar.
I have 2 items on consent calendar. We have minutes from the October 15, 2019 Avalon Municipal Hospital Board of Trustees meeting. Number 2 is we have a CEO report for October and a CFO's narrative analysis for September of 2019.
Any board members want to remove anything?
No, I make a motion to approve items 1 and 2.
I'll second.
Call any questions from the public? I will call for the question.
3 ayes, 1 absentee, Trustee Haves.
We are adjourned.
We are adjourned, and the Avalon City Council meeting is adjourned.
Night, Tony.
Night, Tony. Jason. Ten districts.
Yeah.
So you were in New Orleans when I was in New Orleans.
So glad I didn't run into you.
That's what I told I said, I'm not going to bug him. So when were you
Thank
there?
you.
Huh? Oh, yeah. When were you there? Rainbow what? We got there. Okay, we got there on the.
We got there on Tuesday. So we got there Wednesday was nice and warm.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Bored. That's what
No, it didn't board. The temperatures dropped from like 70 to 50.
Well, wasn't that, because we got
That
there
was
on
Halloween.
Thursday. I got home last week. You just got home.
I just got home Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So much response.
Did you? So you weren't there for Voodoo Fest, though?
Right. Well, that's fine. I'm happy to look at options. I would be more in favor of that.
So it's like,